Hello and welcome back yet again to the Bibbs Corner Film Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mike Bivens, on Twitter at Bibbs Film. And over the course of the past week, a lot has changed. I'm going to change up the way I'm doing the film side of the podcast. I was going to be doing reviews for every single movie I watched, but that's about to get crazy. So instead, I'm just stick to a Sunday recap of the big movies I saw. And then midweek, I'll start doing a recap of the indie movies I saw because I've been getting a lot of emails from indie creators, and I want to make sure I start covering those movies. With that said, this past week, I did watch three big movies. I mentioned them on the last weekly recap, but they were Soul from Disney and Pixar, which came out on Disney Plus. Sylvie's Love, which was an Amazon Prime film with Tessa Thompson and Nandi Asma. And then I watched Wonder Woman 1984, the big HBO Max release. So if you follow me on Twitter or you have seen anything that I posted about these movies, then you already know how I feel about them. If you are not aware, I will gladly break that down for you. So first of all, Sylvie's Love, beautiful love story set in the 50s, but doesn't deal with a lot of segregation and stuff like that. A little bit of back and forth in the love story, which can get dicey, but every decision that was questionable, they made sense of in the movie through the dialogue. So it worked for me. I enjoyed it. I'm not a big romance film type of guy, but as far as romance films, I think it's top tier. As far as Soul, again, Disney Pixar, the first film with a predominantly Black cast on Disney and Pixar. Jamie Foxx as the lead voice. I think Tina Fey plays the mentee type character in this film. But overall, I enjoyed it. It was a nice, heartwarming story. I think there were a few people I saw that mentioned that it didn't feel as authentic as it could have, but there were some nice touches, like the barbershop scene, like the mentions of the use of jazz music and things like that. The ending left me wanting a little bit more, but again, at the same time, for the first film of that type, I was happy with it. Definitely an enjoyable film, especially if you have younger kids. Not necessarily. I've told that kids might not like it, but I don't know. I don't have kids, so everybody that I've talked to has enjoyed it, and their kids enjoyed it. So Soul did what it was supposed to do, basically. And then finally, Wonder Woman 1984. I really wish I had nicer things to say about Wonder Woman 1984. I basically left that movie thinking I don't understand what DC is trying to do. For a film that's supposed to be part of a broader universe, it didn't seem to care about the broader universe too much. It felt like a standalone superhero movie where in a world where Batman and Aquaman and the Flash and all these other people don't exist. Now, technically, they're not supposed to, right? It's 1984. She's doing her own thing. But there was, how can I put this? The movie starts out, first of all, in Diana's childhood, which we've already seen her childhood. It felt like an origin story, basically. So we see something from her childhood. I believe that they did all of that just to tell us one little piece that comes up late in the film that barely mattered. And then they bring us into the 80s. And the 80s stuff, all the characters felt like a parody, like they were making fun of the 80s. Like everybody was goofy, everything was funny. It was like an exaggeration of people in the 80s, and I just did not get the point of it. I couldn't tell if it was supposed to be real or not initially. And then once I realized it was supposed to be real, I was like, this is just not funny. Like, you're trying to be funny, but it's not funny. It felt literally like you were trying to be funny. Like somebody told you this is what was funny about the 80s, and then you tried to emulate it. It was just bad. It was just incredibly bad. Cheesy saves in the beginning. It was, I don't know. It was I wanted to turn the movie off 15, 20 minutes into the movie, but I endured for you, the people, as Bean was saying. But yeah, after that, from there, the villain origin stories didn't really make a ton of sense. They halfway made Pedro Pascal's character interesting, but then the things he was doing were just way over the top, and you just didn't understand what his end game was supposed to be. Uh, and then the final fight between Wonder Woman and Cheetah was just really weird. I didn't get I don't know what we were supposed to get out of that movie. And with that said, Warner went ahead and said that we're going to get Wonder Woman 3, and Patty Jenkins is going to direct that one as well. Hopefully she doesn't phone that one in like she did this one. Maybe there was just not, so I think somebody mentioned there was a lot of woman and not enough wonder. And that I can't disagree with that. My biggest problem with Wonder Woman 1984, when she gets the chance, I'm gonna spoil it. I don't care. It's that bad. I don't want you to watch it. So basically, the main villain is Pedro Pascal, and he's looking for this magical gemstone that allows you to make a wish. And when they first find it, it's Gal Gadot's character, Wonder Woman, and the Cheetah character, who is not yet Cheetah. They get this stone and they jokingly make their one wish that if they could make one wish and it would come true. And Gal Gadot's character, Wonder Woman, whose entire people has been and race and her homeland has been destroyed, she wishes to have a man back in her life that died 30 plus, I don't remember, 40 years ago, a long time ago. She wishes to have a man return to her life who died years ago. And Cheetah wishes to be like Wonder Woman, which makes sense for her because she was one of the over the top frumpy ladies with glasses, and all of a sudden then she takes her glasses off and she's hot type of thing. So again, Wonder Woman wishes for a man. The man comes back. She immediately hops. And first of all, he comes back in the body of another man, but they show us him in his original form. There was zero reason to bring this man back. He served his purpose in the first movie. There was no reason to bring him back. You got Wonder Woman out here being depressed over a man for 40 years. We get the opportunity to create a strong female character, and you have her struggling, thirsty for this one man that she met, the first man that she met. And years later, she still can't get over this man, to the point where she wishes for him to come back when she gets her one wish. He appears in the body of another man. She accepts this immediately. They wake up in bed together the next day. And then she realizes that she sacrificed her powers to bring this man back. And she's okay with that until the world is falling apart. Why? We get this female character and we make her sprung over a man, and she's willing to almost let the world go to ruins to be with this man, even though the man is in another man's body. And even at the end, you have her meet that man again, now that her buddy from 50 years ago is no longer in his body. It's just that regular man back in his own body. Again, make sense of it, please. And they have a little moment, and it's like, oh, is there romance brewing? Come on, man. For what? Why is that her main storyline? Why is that the main thing about her that makes her, a man is supposed to be what makes her tick? Come on, man. Who allowed that to happen? Shut that all the way down. In a regular degular man at that. Huge mistake, huge missed opportunity. I need that to be done. I can't have her out here lusting or sprung and hurt over this man for the rest of the Warner franchise. please don't do that. Don't do that to her. She deserves better. And with that, let's move on. I've said enough. I hated that movie so much. I'm going to be doing my top movies of 2020 so far, because I still need to go back and watch a ton of movies. I'm going to be getting suggestions from people, stuff like that, until March when I have to do my awards. But movies that are coming out this week, and I would edit, but I don't have time or energy, so we'll worry about that later. So movies coming out this week. It's going to be a slow week because it's January. People don't like to put out good movies in January for whatever reason. First movie on my list is Pieces of a Woman. It's Shia LaBeouf and Vanessa Kirby. Currently has a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes. Basically, they're a young couple who lose a child in childbirth. They tried to have a home birth. And basically, it's a drama of them coping with that loss, basically. Sounds like a very depressing, sad movie. I don't know if I'm going to be checking that one out. But 78%, if you're into dramas, you like Shia LaBeouf and or Vanessa Kirby, go ahead and check that one out. Next on the list is a movie called Herself. I don't know much about the people that I saw on the cast list, so I'm not going to name them. But it's a 92% rating. Basically, a woman leaves her abusive husband with her 2 children, and through meeting some people, she decides she wants to build her own house. But then issues begin to arise as her ex shows back up in the picture, and she has some issues with the local government about this house she's trying to build. So again, 92% currently on Rotten Tomatoes. Probably means it's pretty good. So definitely, if you're into that type of drama, check it out. And then finally, Shadow in the Cloud. A 77% rating currently on Rotten Tomatoes. It's Chloe Moretz, who has been around. I remember her since she was like 5. Chloe Moretz, she's doing action stuff now. It's a horror, action, historical thriller type movie. So it's set in World War II. Chloe Moretz is sent with a package on a plane, a secret package on a plane to be delivered somewhere. The men are thrown off by this woman being on this mission, first of all, but then she wins them over with her charm. But slowly they start to realize something may not be right about her. So she's in this treacherous situation. They're apparently about to be attacked in the sky, and we don't know what's inside her. It's a horror thriller, so there's no telling what's going on there. I'm not big on watching trailers. That does sound like something I'll end up watching. 1, I like Chloe. 2, I like mysteries. So definitely something I'm on the lookout for. But I have no idea how long this has gone, and I'm trying to keep these under 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and check out. I'll be back next week with the weekly roundup. If I watch any indie movies between now and Thursday, I will be on that indie weekly wrap up. But until then, peace.